prices have crashed. Hit the button. We'll talk about it on this show. It's not what you think. Ready? Let's do this. All right, let's get this thing started. Welcome to the Tough Show. We're about to kick it off and have a fun night tonight. I had to start the live feed so I could go behind the scenes and get all of the links set up and all the other behind the scenes stuff. Once I get all that set in place, I will switch and start the show. Unfortunately, I can only do this stuff once the live stream is started. So be patient for a couple minutes. I'll be right back and we'll get this show on the road.
Got a kiss on the heel, hopped on the bike thinking this can't be real. Rolled the throttle, felt that venom bite. Road started shaking, sky turned bright. Ravens screaming overhead in rings, and then the vision started doing their thing. Rattlesnake boogie, hot as sin. Lost my mind, but I kept on grinning. Heat wave hitting, wheels keep spinning. Don't know where I'm going, but I ain't quitting. Rattlesnake boogie, desert dream. Girls in the sun like a movie screen. If I make it out alive, I'll be a damn good scene. Rattlesnake boogie's got a hold on me. First thing I saw was a hitching queen. Cut off shorts, legs long and mean. Blew me a kiss, then turned to smoke. Thought to myself, that body no joke. Truck bed rolling with a sea of beer. Cowgirls laughing, saying get in here. Ravens dipping low like they're leading the way. Black wings flapping to the beat they play. Desert motel flickering in the side. Silhouette waiting in the neon twilight. Bull on the highway bucking in the heat. Girl on top moving to the rattlesnake beat. Rattlesnake boogie, hot as sin. Lost my mind, but I kept on grinning. Heat wave hitting, wheels keep spinning. Don't know where I'm going, but I ain't quitting. Rattlesnake boogie, desert dream. Girls in the sun like a movie screen.
All right, hang tight. I'm almost there. There's a few more links to put up, a couple things to do behind the scenes. We should be going here in about a little over 2 minutes. Maybe not even 2 minutes. Less than a minute. A little more than a minute. I don't know. Anyhow, just hang tight. I'm coming. There's a lot of crap to do behind the scenes here, so be patient. I'm on my way.
Ribbon circle dropping shadows on the sand. Felt the world melt right out of my hand. Whiskey bottles floating, dust devils dance. Whole damn desert caught in a trance. I yelled to the sky, hit me with your best. Every vision hotter than the rest. I kept rolling through the whirlwind black. Next thing I knew, I was finally back. Rattlesnake boogie, wild and free. Venom in my veins like a melody. Woke up parked where I shouldn't be. How I got here is a mystery. Rattlesnake boogie, let it roll. Took me for a ride, took a piece of my soul. Desert got a way of losing control. Rattlesnake boogie, man, it swallowed me whole. Stepped off the bike with a shaky grin. Girl on the porch said, where you been? Tapped my boo where the rattler hit. Got bit once and I'm still riding it. Rattlesnake boogie, still buzzing in my head.
I did it again. I forgot to hit the stupid mic. Here we go. So, welcome to the Tough Show. It is 1:41 a.m., and I'm doing this on purpose at night because this is still testing, because I got to get myself all set up here. Anyhow, so this is a quick test. And you know what? I wasn't even going to do a show tonight, and then I happened to log online, and I was checking gold and silver prices because on Friday, the gold and silver prices crashed in a major way. If you want to call it that. They kind of soared for the last 2 weeks, and then they came back down to the price that it was before it soared. So depending on how you look at it, you might call it a crash. I call it they're just fucking with the pricing. We were here, it went up to here, and it came back down to where we started. Is that a crash? I don't think so. You know, the price is back to the all-time high that it was 2 weeks ago, which was the all-time high at that time. So yeah, it went higher the last 2 weeks, and then it went right back to the all-time high from 2 weeks ago. Now, does that suck for people that have bought gold and silver in the last 2 weeks? Well, temporarily, yeah. But you have to understand why. Why did it do it? Why did this happen? Well, here's a quick explanation. I'm going to try to keep it short. And then there's something that I got to show you from Glenn Beck, who I agree with as to what's going on. All of this stuff is tied to the collapse of the dollar as the world reserve currency. It is China, Russia, the BRICS nations all together. They are fucking with us. Okay? That's what they're doing. They're messing with us. And it goes beyond financials. It's everything. They're trying to mess up our society. They're trying to mess up all kinds of stuff. Our news sources, where we get our information from, like everything. They're trying to mess everything up. The reason is that they, the BRICS nations, are trying to break away from the dominance of the dollar. And they're kind of getting away with it. They're doing it. Trump is doing what he can to hold things together, but I don't think he's going to win. I think the best he can do is mitigate losses. That's honestly what I think is going on. So anyhow, here's a quick explanation on the prices. What drives the prices up for gold and silver is the central banks around the world, all of them, everywhere, every country, all around the world. It is not little people like us. We don't drive the prices up. We might have a small impact if a lot of us run to the gold stores and we start buying our gold and silver. There's probably a little bit of an impact there, but we buy ounces, they buy tons. They don't even buy pounds, they buy tons. So when they buy tons of gold and they buy tons of silver, the price moves. So they're the ones pushing the price up. They're the ones that push the price down. We go along for the ride. That's it. We try to time when the big dogs do their thing. Sometimes we time it right, like I did. Sometimes we time it wrong, like I did again not too long ago. Because I still stack. But at the end of the day, when this whole thing crashes, and it's going to, it's a mathematical certainty. It's not even a tinfoil hat moment or anything like that. It is a mathematical certainty. That's what currencies do. Currencies crash. They collapse. They end. Just like we don't use Roman reals anymore, right? At one time, the Roman real was the world reserve currency. At one time, the British pound was the world reserve currency. That was right before World War II. So that's why Germany bombed the shit out of Great Britain in World War II, because that was retaliation for inflating the world reserve currency at the time and putting Germany into hyperinflation. You can do your own research on that. Anyhow, so I'm doing this quick little show to kind of get everybody to understand what's happening. Now, crypto, on the other hand, especially Bitcoin, has only gone down. It hasn't gone up in over a year. It's gone down, 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 down. Yes, it has moments of a little climb, but if you look at the chart for over 12 months, in fact, I think going on 2 years, it's been on a downward decline. Now, Bitcoin is what I believe the federal government put together as $2.0 because they knew $1.0 was on its last legs. So they came out with Bitcoin in 2009, right after the last banking collapse, and they've been using it to get everybody acclimated to digital currency. Now, granted, if you got in early and you rode the crypto, whatever the fuck it is, yes, if you sold when it got up here, you probably made a lot of dollars. That's what crypto is. It's made up of dollars, the green paper that our government keeps inflating. And so they're like, hey, everybody, why don't you try this new thing over here? Even Trump, when he got into office, and I like Trump, but when he got into office, I'm going to be your crypto president. Why is he not our dollar president? And then he says in the news recently that he wants a weaker dollar. Okay, He's not the dollar president. He's trying to push everybody into crypto. Crypto is going to be digital currency that they track, they control whatever you do, whatever you buy. Look at the Real ID. You, as of sometime this week, I think tomorrow, you can't fly if you don't have a Real ID. Why do they want you to have a Real ID? Because it's connected to the CBDC that they're going to have come out soon, and they're calling it a stable coin. And they're probably going to try to have Bitcoin be the United States currency. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they come out with something else. I don't know. But what I do know is this: there's big shit going down, and everybody feels it. Everybody knows it. You're an idiot if you can't tell that this is going on. I don't care what side of the political aisle you're on. It's everywhere. It's happening all the time. That's why we have civil unrest and all this other stuff. Glenn Beck was talking about it. I'm going to switch to that real quick, and then I'll probably end the show. This is going to be a short show. I wasn't trying to make a big deal out of it. I happened to see this video a second ago, and I was like, oh, man, he really hit the nail on the head. And instead of me trying to explain what he said to you and trying to transpose it, I'm just going to play his video and then close out my show, which I didn't think I was going to do tonight because I'm working on other stuff like the shop concerts that are coming up here. But this is too big of a deal. Our dollar is going to collapse. Does that mean the dollar goes to zero? Maybe. Does that mean the dollar just gets killed pretty good? Maybe. I don't know. What I do know is that the way we spend our money is going to radically change. What you know about your money is going to radically change. The world is going back to a gold standard, which is why they're messing with the gold prices on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange and in the Asian markets. In fact, tonight, the Asian markets stopped. They stopped the trading. They said, no, something shady is going on here. So gold went up $500 an ounce in a few days last week, and then it crashed $700 in 2 days. That's not right. That's not normal. That's not free market. That's manipulation. So if you hold gold and silver, don't panic. Don't think to yourself, oh, I got to sell my gold. I got to sell my silver. Just breathe. Relax. This is something that's going on behind the scenes. We don't know about it out here. I'm going to play this thing from Glenn Beck. Then I'm going to close this out, right? Shit. Give me a sec. I didn't have it queued up. All right, here we go. Glenn Beck.
You know, I have six things on this chalkboard. Japan, explain it. It's a treadmill. It's this crazy treadmill, and they can't get off it. They can't speed up, and they can't slow down. China is a house of mirrors. Gold is insurance. We're the safest house on the block, but that changes with number 5, civil unrest. Okay. What we're seeing in Minnesota is so incredibly dangerous if this spreads. Let me first remind you that our DOJ, FBI, CISA, all of these things have been issuing public warnings for a few years now saying, look, disinformation. We know, we have the videos of these giant server farms where they all have iPhones plugged into them. And I mean, there are thousands, tens of thousands of phones. And these bots are just sending out, posts and reposting from the other bot and everything else. And you're not getting the truth anymore. You think you're getting something real, but you're not. The algorithms are all being affected because China and Russia, our two biggest enemies, and Iran, they have these giant farms where they are pushing fake social media out. And what are they doing? Why would China benefit from chaos here in America? How does that possibly benefit them? Well, what is our greatest strength? A lot of people will say our weapon systems, but it's not. It's not. Our greatest strength as a country comes from certain rules of law. The law of contracts, the law of property, that we are stable, that we're generally a well-educated, I don't know if I can say this one anymore, but well-educated group of people, and that we're hard workers. If America fractures into constant street conflict or a national divorce, what happens? What happens? What has Donald Trump been doing for the last 12 months? And he's been bragging about it, and people don't seem to care because I don't think they understand what this means. But he's been saying, I've got $18 trillion of investment coming in. $18 trillion. Never been done before. You're right. Never been done before. Not even close. Never been done before. But what does that actually mean? That means that foreign companies are investing in America. They're building factories here in America. Now, why would they do that? They do that for a couple of reasons. One, the tariffs. I'm going to make it so expensive you're not going to be able to sell a truck in the United States. Build them in the United States and I'll help you out. There's one reason. The other reason is every other market is collapsing. And so they're looking for something stable, something where nobody's going to come and grab their company. Nobody's going to put new rules on them and make them go out of business. They're looking for something that has constitutional order and is stable. So it's worth their while to do two things. One, make sure that the biggest market, or now second biggest market in the world, is still buying our products without tariffs. And let's hedge our bet that some of the places we do business in, for instance, even Germany, Japan, it may not work. And we may have to be offshore someplace that is stable so we don't lose everything. Okay. If America fractures, that investment is no longer good. That investment from all over the globe is bad. They take that money and they're like, I'm not investing there because you can't trust that. That thing's about to collapse. What happens? Credit tightens. Insurance costs explode. Retirement accounts get hammered. And the people who suffer first are not the powerful. They're the ordinary ones. Civil disorder does not punish the system. It punishes the family. And I want you to hear this clearly. I don't care if it was the left or the right that is doing what the left is now doing in Minnesota. There are no winners in this path. I'd be giving this exact same monologue if it was a bunch of quote unquote patriots that were doing it. No, you're not. America loses. Every American loses, and some will lose everything. And China and Russia and everybody else will watch and they will smile. Why? Because all of that money, all of that business will have to find some other place to invest. It will have to go some other place. Where do you think it's going to go? It's going to go to China. That's why China is pushing civil unrest. Okay? Half of what you see is manufactured. And it's either manufactured online or it's manufactured as these riots. This is not spontaneous. This is all a show. It's planned. And it's paid for largely in part by China. So we are on this really dangerous ice cliff, and that's why gold is at $5,100, because this thing could crumble at any time. Now, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? I mean, how do you possibly weather a storm like that? Well, there's a few things, and I want to get into this. I'll get into it briefly. If I don't have time to finish it, I'll hit on it tomorrow. But universal rules for everybody. That's why I've been saying we got to have equal justice under the law, equal justice. Universal rules for everybody, the rich and the poor. You also need to build a runway. And, you know, they always say have 30 days of cash. That's a lot for most people. You're going to be able to cover all your bills for 30 days. I'm saying you got to have a runway of cash, you know, some kind of money that will cover not, you know, the fantasy life, the fantasy budget, but the stuff that is crucial that you have, just crucial. And it should be for months, not weeks. Kill right now any kind of fragile debt, variable rate, consumer debt. If you can get out of it, if you can consolidate it into a lower, get out of it right now. Okay. Don't rely on constant credit. If there is any other option, cut. Assume that lenders are going to tighten exactly when you need them. So you got a credit card you can count on. You may not be able to count on it soon. Then you also have to have the practical resilience. You need to focus on your skills. What skill do I hung some lights this weekend in my house, and my wife was like, "What are you doing? You're going to electrocute yourself." And I'm like, "Honey, I know how to hang basic lights I know how to hang basic lights for the love of Pete. But I have very few real life skills, very few, because I've done this my whole life. And I thought, there's always be like this. It's not going to be like that. What skills do I actually have? Strengthen your community ties. Know people. Build local networks. And, you know, you need to diversify, not ideology, but assets, income streams, skills, anything you can do so you're not relying on just one thing. And stay employable. You know, the next era is going to reward adaptability over titles. Let me take a quick break, and then I think I'll just break it down into age groups, because I think this is really important. What do I do? I'm 35. I don't own a house. I don't, whatever. Great. Let me try to explain this to what you need to do to be prepared for this next phase.
Thank you for thinking for yourself and being.
I did it again. I forgot to turn my damn mic on. So, all right. So here's the deal. what he's talking about is that when this shit hits the fan, it's coming. We have every indication out there that that's what's going to happen. Okay. When you see riots going on, when you see people attacking law enforcement, when you see gold prices shoot up $500 in a day, that's not normal. All right. This time last year, silver was at around $30 an ounce. Even after this crash, it's still at like 70 or 80 after this. Okay. So the fact that silver got up to $120, which is where I think it should be, I think it should be actually higher than that. The banks manipulate the price going up and down. And it's the China banks versus the American banks, and they're playing with each other because we have a market here, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange right here in Chicago, and they have their market in China. And so they're playing with the prices, both sides. It was about a month ago that on a Sunday night like tonight, China was doing their trading, and all of a sudden something happened on our end over here where the COMEX said, which is Commodities Exchange, said that their servers went down. Okay. And then, of course, everybody's like, what? It's the middle of winter. Like, open the door. Like, because they were saying it was overheating. I'm sorry. They said that the cooling fans or the cooling system went out. That's what it was, not the servers. And people are like, well, why don't you just open the doors? It's wintertime. Cool the servers down. And, of course, it doesn't make any sense. But none of this makes any sense because whatever's coming, and World War III is here. Okay? No tin foil. No, it's here. Get to grips with that. It's here. You can see it everywhere. Everywhere. Every country, you can see it. Not just here in the United States. And what's causing this is the same thing that caused the last World War, which was the end of a world reserve currency. Trump has said many times he's trying to not let the dollar end as a world reserve currency. And when I get those videos put together, you'll hear it right from him. I didn't have that planned tonight because I didn't think I was doing a show tonight. But at this point, I got 22 minutes on the clock. I'm going to call it a night. And I hope you guys understand. Shit's about to get real. And I'm not trying to scare anybody, but you should start preparing for anything. Stock up on food. Save some cash in your house, not in the banks. Because if the banks go down, you don't want to lose all your money. If you can afford it, buy some gold and silver. No, you can't take it to the grocery store. At least not now. But if the dollar crashes, I guarantee you the grocery stores will turn those cash registers into scales overnight. So be good to have something. If anything, you can at least trade it to somebody else who has more cash than you, and you can take that to the grocery store. But either way, you better prepare because I don't know what the hell's coming down, but whatever it is, it's massive. It's global. Global. 7 billion people on the planet. Global. Something's going down. And I don't know what to tell you. But anyhow. All right. I'm out of here. You guys take it easy. Thanks for watching the show. I'll have more coming.
Until we meet again, happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. Who cares about the clouds?